everybody, welcome to the June of 2020 Patreon Q&A. Huge thanks to all my patrons who helped make this channel possible. Now it's time to answer your questions. We have about 20 and we're going to try and get through them fast as possible, so let's get on with it.
So first question is from Kelly Pethick, and she says, "Hi Spicy and Reno, I hope you are well. Can you do a video on the Lexmoto ISCA?"
I think it's Isika.
Isika 125. "I've just purchased one and I've done my CBT and have bought one. I love it. I nearly bought the LXR, but I need a more practical one for work. Keep making your videos, love 'em."
Eventually, yes, but as you've seen, I haven't had a Lexmoto in months. I don't know when that's going to start up again. Relatively soon, I assume. But there's a few things I need to sort out first. May Crotch, "Hi Spicy and Reno, how's it hanging?" I'm not going to make the liar quote. That's not my question, by the way. My question is it abnormal to think about cheese when I wake up, when I go to sleep, and whenever I see a notification from you from a spicy video? You're an awesome pair, cheese out. For you, no. That would be quite normal.
Stephen Billett asks, "Just wondering if you've ever had talks with Trevor Popes in Gosport about doing some test rides on KTMs. Also, your review on the Suzuki GSX-S made me buy my first bike in October and I'm loving it. And I also gave you a sprocket from a Suzuki TL1000S that you commissioned for me."
No, I have not been to Trevor Pope to see about KTMs. I had contact with KTM like 4 years ago. They contacted me and they were like, "Would you like to be on one of our bikes, you know, to get to do some videos on it?" Sure. Never arrived. Then like I spoke to them again and said what's going on. They're like, "Yeah, let's get it all sorted," and then it never happened. I don't know why KTM don't want to lend me bikes. They know I exist. They've offered it to me like 4 times and never actually followed through. So until KTM come to me again and be like, "Here's a bike." Penny Holmes, "Hi Spicy and Reno, hope you are well." We are, thank you. "Just about to start biking again, CBT all booked, and my girlfriend has just surprised me by buying me an Isika. My question is, what's your favourite breed of cow?"
I think Jersey cows.
What, not a Highland cow?
No, Highland cows. Highland cows are my favourite, then Jersey cows and dairy cows.
Friendly cows, that's my favourite breed.
Friendly any cow. Jake Malloy says, "Spicy, this one is for you. How do you deal with putting on and taking off your helmet with your piercings? I had to take mine out because they were pulling too much."
Grab straps. Use hands, thumbs to push ears in. Pull down. And the same in reverse. The other thing is it depends on the type of piercings you have. Obviously I've got hoops up here, and the reason why I've got hoops is because they've got nothing to snag on. On this side I've actually got ones without balls. They're called like hidden segment hoops, and it means that they're small, smooth, they flatten out and it makes it easier. That's basically the answer. I used to have like spikes on my ears at one point, and that was just so stupid. I tried to put a motorcycle helmet on with those on, didn't work. So basically you have to pick the jewellery that fits and works. And also just get it over your ears and not crushing.
Yes.
Mark Scott, "Hey Spicy, the DRZ rebuild seems to be proving immensely popular." Actually, no. It's popular with patrons and getting people on board, helping support the channel. Views-wise, it is not popular. And if you look at the comments, it doesn't seem to be too popular either. It's just people wanting to, you know, always add their little bit in and suggest how I could do things better. "Do you think that bike restoration could be a new avenue for your channel? I'd love to see you buying cheap bikes, doing them up and reselling them. Wheeler dealers but with bikes." It's a nice idea, but I think I'd need a lot more patrons before I could start doing that, because I mean it's cost me a pretty penny just to do work to a bike I already owned, and I've got a load of stuff for free on it. To buy a bike and do all of that, it would, yeah, I'd need more. And I don't want to try and become another rep bike rebuild or anything like that. And equally, the problem with buying and selling the bikes is I buy them and then I need to sell them. My name starts getting out there because the paperwork that's on, people want to come and see the bike, you know, but where I want to sell the bike, I suppose I could do that at Haslemere actually. Yeah, there's a few logistical issues with doing that. I don't know if I don't know. I just kind of do whatever happens on my channel. If I feel like changing what I'm doing, I'll do that for a while. I always like to be free in what I can do. But I do like the idea of maybe getting like a 125 in the future and doing it for something for green lining, maybe.
Chris Wallace 959 says, should insurance companies cover you for Pillion as standard? Yet again, another money-making con. If a car is made with 5 seats, they can be used for no extra cost.
I agree that it shouldn't be extra. However, when I added Pillion cover on, they charged me like £8. It really is a you don't pay for it when you actually, if you include it, you're not really paying for it, because if you say take it off, they're not going to knock off 30 quid or something. But I do know what you mean, because they're like, you know, a car has 5 seats, why, if you have 4 in it, why don't, you know, that doesn't make any sense. But I suppose it's probably because you have to know how to ride with a Pillion on the back.
Yeah.
So.
And I think there's more dangers that can be done to the Pillion on the back of a bike than in a car, in general, a passenger in a car. Yeah,
generally. So I know what you mean, but I don't think it's that big. So I know what you mean, but I don't think it's that big an issue. Robo Ninja 300, hi Spice and Reno, hope you're both doing well. We are, thank you. Sorry if it's too personal, feel free to say if you prefer not to answer. I was just curious, do you still keep in contact with any of your older friends, motovloggers, other than Jake, like Furious, Ginger Biker, Phil and Renner? Yeah. Ginger basically stopped doing YouTube, as far as I can tell, but I message him every now and then. We have a little catch up every now and then. Furious, I'm regularly having little catch ups with him. I've got to go over and meet up with him again at some point. Phil and Renner, I chat with them occasionally. When they come over to the UK, and we normally go and meet up, or I go and meet up if you're at work. So yes.
Daniel Pimlet says, have you ever fired a gun up in the air and gone, ah? I think that's what he says. Or going, ah.
I've fired a gun at an angle into the air, missed a clay and gone, ah, maybe. But no, not in the sense I think you're meaning. Glories, hope this doesn't come across as rude, but what's up with Reno's over-exaggerated blinking? Okay, this is said and said a few times, but you can explain.
I don't really know why I do it. I've always done it for majority of my life. I just have a thing where I blink. I just have face twitch.
Yeah, but it's a nervous facial twitch. Yeah.
If I get nervous or anxious or stressed out, sometimes it's more present.
And because if someone points it out to her, she'll then do it more.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a nervous thing.
That's it.
It's been explained a lot of times. But yeah.
That's why.
It's I'd call it a condition.
Yeah, and because I wear contact lenses, they make you blink more anyway. So I already naturally blink loads anyway. Then I'm wearing contact lenses, so it's like extra.
Yeah, and then you put you on camera and you look at yourself and it gets even worse.
Yeah.
So. To be honest with you, I don't even notice it.
No.
Because it's just part of her mannerisms.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, but it does seem like a few people need to point it out. Bruce Groom, hi Spicy, have you given up on the Metalworks completely for the time being, or would you take a special project on right now if it came up? As I say, the Metalworks is on the back burner. I either need to be doing it for like full time or not doing it. At the moment, I'm going full on into YouTube. I've explained the whole reason behind that. It's like a 45-minute video. In the winter, I'm going to possibly pick it back up again. It all depends. I have the stock, I have clock mechanisms, I have all the stuff I need. So they are going to get turned into clocks. It's just whether I do one here, one there, or whether I do more. As for the picking up a special project, I'm not doing commissions or anything like that anymore because I don't have a PO box, so I can't. I'm only going to be selling clocks I make from parts that I have. Unfortunately, the reality of it is it's not a business you can do big scale. It doesn't work out. However, it is something that I can do in my spare time during the winter when I have less to do. But I don't know, it depends, because 6 months ago I thought that I'd probably not be doing YouTube. Now everything's actually pretty good thanks to you guys with Patreon. It saved my butt. And now things are progressing with the channel, things are going great, people are happy. So, I don't know. But I won't be taking any on special projects at all, because I can't get things from you.
Daniel Boddington says, hey Spicy and Reno, how did you first get into doing bike reviews?
Well, you've never done a bike review.
No.
Although you have only been on the back with me, but that's more sort of your opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I was a motovlogger. I wanted to ride some other bikes. I got... What was the first bike I rode that was technically a review bike was an S1000 RR that Baron arranged for me out of Barnstormer. That got me the connection there. Then that led into me doing reviews with Haslemere, also Lexmoto somewhere along came in the middle, and then everyone else that I've done a review with is sort of just naturally come along.
Yeah.
Someone did ask me like a little while ago, how do I get to review bikes like you do? But they had a channel with like 10 subscribers, and it was, I don't want to be horrible, but like, you're not going to get, I mean, you might be able to borrow a bike from you can test ride bikes, even if you're whatever, you know, go and do it yourself. And they probably won't have a problem with you filming it, so that's one way of doing it. Because technically I'm just taking them on a test ride.
Yeah.
But yeah, the long-term loans though comes down to getting companies to work with you. Matthew Valcourt, what's your thoughts on the 1999 Honda CLR Cityfly 125? Being offered one for a decent price, I was wondering if they're decent as a commuter for work. Never even heard of it.
I don't know what that is either.
I'm guessing it's a scooter or a small bike. I would say, people in the comments, you can give your opinions. That will be helpful for Matthew.
Tony Walters says, stupid question, but can I put an exhaust for a Euro 3 bike on a Euro 4 bike?
Yes, you can put all the Euro stuff applies for manufacturers, does not apply to you or MOT. Like the tail tidies on bikes that put the plates way beyond the back wheel at a certain height, that is a requirement by the European Union for bike manufacturers. But you can change it and put tail tidy on your MOT, is not a problem. Same for loads of other bits and pieces. Linked brakes, if you buy a bike with linked brakes, you can unlink them. There is nothing wrong with that. As long as you do it the right way. It won't fail MOT or anything like that. So yes, you can put a Euro 3 exhaust on a Euro 4 bike, assuming it fits, and there isn't any sort of physical reason. There's no legal reasons why you can't, basically. Andrew Honey, if you didn't have the ultimate beef of Derek, would you think about a bigger CC supermoto? I mean, it would be nice to have something with a bit more CC, because it would mean that like Derek is better at doing motorbikes. Like the 690 and the 701 are both bikes which can do motorway miles as well as all the other stuff. But I actually don't entirely like the feel of the KTM or the Husqvarna. It's something about the way the steering feels. It's not as light as I'd like it to be. And it's also something to do with the seat, the way that it's very flat, and just something about that just doesn't... I mean, I'm sure if I rode one for an extended period of time, I'd get used to that style. It's probably where I'm so used to what my DRZ feels like compared to it, but every time I've switched over, I've always been like, I don't really like it like this, I prefer the DR. I'm not saying that the DR's better, I'm just saying I think I prefer the way the DR feels. So, yes and or no. Because also long distance stuff on a supermoto with no wind protection isn't very pleasant. So... don't know.
Craig Scott says, let's say a generous viewer sent you £100,000 to your PayPal. How would you use it?
100 grand? Well, I have some very big questions about where that money came from. Probably 100 grand. Well, probably that. Well, that'd be good for. We could get a mortgage, I guess. You got enough for a deposit to get a mortgage. It's cheaper than renting in the long run. But we were having this whole discussion yesterday about renting versus buying. Not a lot, simply. Probably just continue as I am now and just know that I don't have to worry about money. Like at times when I've earned a lot more money than I'm earning now in my life, I didn't go and suddenly spend loads more money. I just had money. And then when things came tough, I had the money to support myself through that time. Unfortunately, if those hard times continue for a long time, it means you run out of money altogether. And then you end up having to make a patron. But, I don't know, nothing extravagant, really.
No, we're not those type of people, really, are we? We're quite good with saving and all that.
I might buy some like new camera equipment, something like
that. Lee Bayliss says, hi Reno and Spicy. If you punch yourself and it hurts, are you strong or weak? I like this question. I don't think I could hurt anyone with a punch, to be fair. I'm not very strong.
Both. It's just both. It's always both. It's like that thing where it's like, look at your own face! Jason Robbins, If you could make a clock out of any bike or any part without price limit, what would it be? I'm just going to give a simple answer rather than some extravagant answer. I wanted to make a clock out of a rotary piston, you know, the actual rotor out of a rotary engine. I thought it would be quite cool to make one like that, because then you could like walk past it and knock it and it would just rock backwards and forwards. But I looked for second-hand, you know, the rotors, and they're expensive even for scrap, because people use them to turn into clocks and stuff.
Nathan Daniels says, back in your 125 days, why did you not have an L plate on the front? Were the laws different back then, or was younger Spicy just rebellious?
I actually made videos on that. It's a bit of a lot of things.
I remember you saying about it.
Yeah. Basically, if you have an L plate on the front of your bike, no, I must explain here. Having an L plate on the front of your bike is absolutely legally required, and you should do it.
Yes.
I rode my bike with no front L plate for a very, very long time, and it was never an issue. However, you may do it for 2 minutes and you'll get yourself in trouble. I had a rear L plate all the time, which meant if the police were behind you, they could see your L plate. If they're coming from the other direction and you're going that way, they're less likely to turn around and come back and get you, but they might. But the reason why I didn't was because I very quickly noticed that if you were at a junction and you go to pull out, cars think you're going to be really slow, and I kept getting people pull out me. And I was like, do you know what? I've got a feeling it's got something to do with this L plate. So I whipped it off and noticed a vast improvement. Do not do this. I'm not telling you to do this. But it is something I noticed, and other people might back me up on this and also tell you, don't do this.
Yes, don't do it.
But that is why it wasn't just me being rebellious and not wanting an outlet, it was I was safer.
Yeah.
It felt for me around here. And as I say, the police around here do not care, it would seem, as long as you've got a rear one. If you haven't got a rear one, they seem to have a problem. But in other places in the country, I can guarantee you'll barely step outside your front door and you'll be like, stop!
You violated the law. Pay the court the fine or serve your sentence. Ben Garker says, controversial question alert. What do you think of the latest drama between Matt and Delboy with the opening a hot radiator video, Del taking the video down and not holding his hands up to his mistakes?
I'm not going to really take a side, as it were, but Matt is correcting things which are wrong. I don't watch Delboy, but when I saw Matt's video talking about that and the dude was undoing a hot radiator cap, I'm like, someone won't know to put a cloth over it, or won't know to be careful and will get scolded. So it's one of the reasons why I always teach best practice. And if I'm going to do something which I know is going to be okay for me, but is a bit dodgy to do if you don't understand what you're doing, I don't show it on video. That's the difference. I could go on and on about this whole subject of like what you do for your own things and what you do for other people's things and what you would show people, because you have to understand that not everyone's got the knowledge to know. It's perfectly fine to do it that way. Like, I don't know, you get a knife with the wrong way round and you rub it on your arm like that, you're not going to cut your arm, and then some child sees you doing it and goes, oh, it's fine. Blood. If you know what I mean. Philip Hayes, sorry if I got that wrong. Hi Spicy, do you and Reno need masks? My girlfriend is making custom ones that you can reuse with 3 layers and all that jazz. Please let me know if you would like each of them. Nope, don't need masks. Well, unless they become mandatory here, whenever I go, I have a motorcycle helmet on, and that's not coming off. Reno is sheltered and not going out at the moment.
I'm still inside.
And I use cloth ones. And just wash them every time. So thank you for the kind offer, but again, I don't have a PO box for you to send them to me anyway, so not possible.
James Johnston says, hello Spicy. If you had the chance and the money, would you buy an electrical bike? Example, the electric one Harley has done.
Did it?
Yeah.
It sounded like it was
Sorry.
kind of... I... I still want to try an electric bike. I have been offered one again by a company that contacted me, offered me a bike, then didn't get in contact, then didn't. This keeps happening to me. It's been going on for like 2 years with these ones. But they seem like, yeah, we've got a bike ready for you now, but unfortunately they offered me that during the whole time doing the rebuild. So all the emails, all the offers I'm getting from people saying, do you want to do this, do you want to do that? I'm going, no. I'm doing everything. I'm like, in the past I would have said yes, and I would have made my life a nightmare, and I got super stressed out. Now I'm like, no, I'm getting this bike done, then I'll do that. If it's not available, then fine, whatever, I'll do something else and we can do something in the future. Taking a lot of the stress off of myself has made me feel a lot happier and be healthier. It's also thanks to you guys that making me, well, as I say, when I apologise to you for stuff and they're like on Patreon and something's a day late and they're like, it's fine. I'm like, oh. I always expect people to like, why man, it's 2 minutes late. Alan Waters, if 2 wheels are better than 4, then why is the dog a man's best friend and not a penguin?
Penguin could be your best friend if you want. If you
Any animal can be anyone's best friend. You don't have to just have a dog. You could have a woodlouse who's your best friend, and then he's got 8 legs.
Yeah.
No, 6 legs.
No, wait, yes.
Yeah, because it's an insect, not an arachne. It's the bin. He's asking a question again.
The bin! The bin says, if you were in a circus, would you rather be the person with their head in the lion's mouth or the person who gets shot out of a cannon? I'm going to go with the shot out of a cannon because you know what it's going to do every single time. The lion could be unpredictable. And if it bites your head, rather than if something goes wrong in the cannon and it explodes, then maybe you'll just explode and you won't know about it.
I'd also like to not be one of the people that uses animals for entertainment. Not saying that they're all nasty, but we all know that some zoos are pretty nasty. 4568. No.
Who do we appreciate?
No. 4658. A up Spicy and Reno. Hope you're both doing well. Mr. Spicy, say YouTube change the rules and make it ridiculously hard to make a decent living from vlogs, etc. alone. Would you consider setting up the Metalworks in a more permanent capacity? 100,000,000% no. Small industrial units, 100,000,000,000% no. Possibly taking on other engineering fabrication jobs, 1,000,000,000,000% no. Maybe going to business with someone, that's more likely. With the Metalworks as an arm for that, just curious, I think you could make a very good living from it if YouTube paid better and took less work, blah blah. No, the reality is I was selling those clocks for like £80 to £100 and I sold less than 100 clocks in 3 years, and the profit from each one of them was not as high as people would like to think it was when you put in all the costs of the equipment and the stuff and blah blah blah. And also my sales, like when I first started making the clocks, I could make 10 clocks over a course of a month or two and then sell them in one night. And it was brilliant. It was so reliable. It was like, make this many clocks, sell this many clocks. And then it became make 10 clocks, sell 7 clocks, then sell 3, the last 3 very slowly. Then it became make 10, sell 5, the last 5 were slow. Then it was like make 10, sell none, wait a month, sell 1. It was just like, this is not working. It was very obvious that the numbers of people interested to buy them were dropping quickly, because obviously you have to be somewhat of a, well, I'm not going to say you have to be a certain person that appreciates that sort of thing, and also a very good supporter and fan of the channel, I would say. I never sold one to anyone who wasn't a subscriber, other than someone buying one for a friend who was a subscriber. And obviously that was doing it from home. If I added on business expenses and stuff, it would be ridiculous. And the other problem was, it took me so much time to do, I stopped making videos for my channel. Like, oh, I won't make a video today, I'm going to make a couple of clocks. And that then started killing my channel off, which meant that I had less customers. And it was like, well, then I need to make more videos to make more clocks. I'm being poked by some drill bits. So then I had to make more videos to get more attention to the channel. That then meant I wasn't making clocks, and then everyone wanted clocks, and then I make the clocks, and then no one wanted the clocks. So
and then it was just too much.
It became no fun at all. As for the fab stuff, the fabrication stuff, I would be interested in doing that. However, I'm not trained by anyone other than myself, and I know enough to know when you shouldn't offer a service that you don't know how to. Like, I will weld stuff for myself, when it comes to life and death, I'm very unsure of my own welding. I've done a couple of jobs that wouldn't be life and death, but it could be quite bad, and I've had the welding checked by a person who knows what they're talking about, and they're going, yes, that's absolutely fine. But I wouldn't like offer welding services to people. Like, oh, I'll weld up your car for you. I know my limitations and how far I should push my own abilities. Whereas, and I know a lot of people in this world would be like, well, I can snot 2 pieces of metal together, so I could weld your drive shaft together for you, no worries. A long answer, but there you go.
F1D3L1TY says, hi Spicy and Reno, I've had lots of people say they would love to get into riding and have always recommended your playlist as a starting point. My question to you both is, what things as a Spicy and Reno community can we do to promote and encourage more people into riding?
Share my videos?
Yeah, that's...
No one does it. Share. I specifically made a video that was designed for people to share with their friends who are maybe on the fence about getting a bike, and I think it's been shared about 4 times. I mean,
or if you've got a friend who's interested in bikes, just say, hey, look at this playlist that will tell you everything, and then they might not worry so much. I think a few people have messaged you and said, I was so worried about my CVT, I've watched your playlist loads, and it gives them more confidence because they know what to expect.
Yeah, most people who want a bike are just a bit scared by the prospect and lack of confidence and lack of knowledge in the area to know what they can and can't do, because the licences seems to confuse the ever-living hell out of everyone.
Yeah.
I have a video on the licences, and in the past few days I keep getting comments from people saying, like, so I'm 24, does that mean I can get a restricted 650? And it's like, you did not watch the video. You literally just came to my video and asked the question you wanted to ask, rather than watching the video, which takes 10 minutes to unlatch. So, yeah, explain everything they need to know, simplify it, and tell them not to worry about it, because, let's face it, some complete idiots do it, so your friends should be able to. Kagan Versfeld, hey Spicy, I'm planning to buy a new Tiger 900 in February for my A2. It will be restricted for it, so after 2 years it will get de-restricted, so I have the full power. That or my Tracer 700, which is cheap already, A2, or even get a second-hand DRZ 400 SM. Remember, they are no good on the motorway. As a single bike, you will hate your life if you have to go anywhere. And save up for my A2. Time for a big bike, like the new Rocket 3, ? Anyways, I hope you and Reno are doing alright. Now that restrictions have been lifted. Well, not fully lifted.
No.
I'm not quite sure what you're asking me. I think, are you saying, do I go for a larger bike that's restricted, or a bike that happens to be okay for the A2 as is?
Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot before I went for my A2, and then I just decided to get one that was powerful enough within the A2.
Yeah, and do you want a bigger bike?
No.
Depends what you want from the bike.
Yeah, it does. James the Naked Snake says, hey Spicy and Reno. Hope you are both okay. My question is, why does it always rain on me? Oh, what's the next line?
It's because you lied when you were 17. You did eat that chocolate bar.
Oh.
It was you.
More seriously, are there technologies in the motorcycle industry that you consider fads or annoying, or you think should just generally stop? I'm thinking more in the region of things like remote key fobs. They are a stupid idea that just add cost for little to no benefits, in my opinion.
The overcomplication of bikes with unnecessary levels of electronics. Like, I do get it with some sports bikes, you know, you've got all the stability controls basically, and it's like, okay, but there's also things like, you know, they put cruise control, and now they're talking about having adaptive cruise control on a bike, and I'm like, should you not be paying a lot of attention when you're on a bike? But then you should do the same thing in a car. I don't have an issue with it in a car. So, no, I don't think there's any of it that should just stop. I just wouldn't be interested in something like that. As long as they don't do something stupid and make all bikes do it, then you're free to do as you wish, I guess. Mephisto, is it worth to invest in GPS tracking on a motorcycle? It can be if you think your bike's going to get stolen.
Yeah.
Equally, it doesn't always seem to actually help get the bike back, and if you do get the bike back, you probably didn't want the bike back because it's probably absolutely hammered.
Yeah.
So I know in some cases the GPS has meant that people have to get their bike back in a few hours, nothing's really been done to it and everything's okay. There are some very cheap devices out there, and I suppose it can be hidden on the bike, so it's up to you if it can help. If the cost of the tracker is less than how much you could save on your insurance for having it, then it would be worth it.
Mark Lally says, "Hi Spicy and Reno, hope you're well. Will you be continuing the Lex Moto reviews, or will it only be Triumph bikes from now on?"
Oh no! I'm still doing everything.
Yeah.
The Lex Motos ended just before lockdown because the trade shows were just about to happen, which means all the demo bikes, which I have, the ones I use to review, go to the shows, and then after that, that's when I start getting bikes again. So the only reason there's been a stop is because, well, first it was because they needed the bikes back to do. That's why I only had one of them for a very short amount of time, because they needed it back for the show. And then obviously lockdown happened, so that's not what that's been happening. I am going to be doing reviews on as many different bikes as I can get my butt on after this is done. As soon as that's done, I'm going to be back down Triumph, I'm going to be back down at Haslemere. I want to get down to BMW, because there's a few BMW, I haven't ridden a BMW in years, there's loads of new bikes I want to try out. I'm going to basically be doing as many reviews as I can for the remainder of the summer. But I need to get the bike done first. Right, the last question is from David Butchholes. I'm sorry, it's... Right, the last question is from David Butchholes, I think. I've probably pronounced that horribly wrong. Keyless ignition, discuss. It is ignition which doesn't have a key. I do get it. It is quite nice in a way, like when I had the Rocket, to be able to just get on the bike and the bike starts up and everything. And I like the fact that you can turn off the fob so it doesn't work anymore. Because obviously what they do is, well, thieves are known to do this. They come to your door with a funny thing that basically receives the signal from that, and then they transmit it to your bike or your car to unlock it, and then they can ride it away. But as soon as they stop, that's when it kicks in, and they can't, if they cut the engine off, they can't restart it. Which is why that if you, for instance, if your key is close enough to your car that you can start it without having it in your pocket and you leave home, you could then go to the petrol station, turn the car off to fill the car up, reset the key, and then you can't restart it because it's back at home. So I do get them, but I wouldn't be like, oh, keyless ignition, yeah, I really want that, because it's just another thing to break. It's just something more complicated. It's just another security thing that it's only so long for someone. What they can already do is they fake the signal and unlock your bike like that. So I'd rather have a physical key. But then those bikes have key slots in them anyway. So I suppose you could just pick those, or you could just do what most people do, which is just smash the bike and stick wires together. But when they put them on cheap bikes, and it's probably added a reasonable amount of cost onto that bike, that's when I'm like, don't bother. It's not needed. Like there's a Suzuki 125 that's got it, and I was like, I don't really get why that would be on this. Point on a 125 really. But then someone said, well, why shouldn't they? I'm like, well, I said why. I just think it would be cheaper, and they're like, I guess maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, that is the last one for this month. Huge thanks to my Patreon supporters. I'll put up the new questions for July when this video goes up onto Patreon, like the day after, so they don't get confused. Huge thanks for your support as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos. This channel is made possible by the support of the audience. Please consider joining my Patreon to get early access to videos, questions answered in the monthly Q&A, your name on screen, and some exclusive content, all for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the links in the description to my merch and other ways to directly support the channel. Thanks for watching.